This is Mesocapped Weather Association, and over here on October 18th, right now it's around 7:30 p.m. We do have some storms here that did impact the Dallas-Fort Worth area down to Houston, some portions of Louisiana, Arkansas, and a pretty good portion of Missouri, and the biggest area was over here in Oklahoma and Arkansas. This is because of a strong low pressure system. This is a personalized video for DroneXperts, so instead of focusing on our typical discussion, which encompasses the entire United States, along with general weather, we're going to be mostly focusing on wind and wind gusts in the area along Elkader, Iowa, and northeast Iowa as a whole. So let's dive right into it. We're going to start here with our computer models. We're going to use the ECMWF, which is what I like to use for the first 3 to 4 days out. And this is going to give us a good idea of what our atmosphere is looking like. Right now, this is what the wind speed, mid-level of the atmosphere, which significantly impacts what the weather is going to do, and basically it shows us where our low pressure systems are. Right now we have a low pressure system sitting right about here, which is why we have lots of storms around this area because of initiation. We did have some storms that were like this earlier, but now it's moved on to a squall line, which is good because that means less tornado wind and hail threat as well. So that's where our low pressure system is. Take a note of this low pressure system. We're going to talk about these in just a second. But we have another low pressure system right here, and this is what's going to be causing some of our wind later on. And look at how fast this is. This area right here in the red, that's 85 to 95 knots, which is the equivalent of 105 to 115 miles an hour. And so this trough that we have, it's kind of two low pressure systems. This one in Missouri is kind of weakening, and it's just barely trying to become a low pressure system. But it is going to spark a lot of initiation, and look at that. It starts to become a very negatively tilted trough right here, and it's just going to bring some little severe weather in the Ohio Valley area. And look what happens over here. We have some zonal flow that starts moving across. And then looky there, we have another low pressure system. And this one's going to be bringing lots of wind over there in Iowa on Tuesday. And this is going to possibly bring the return of some rain and severe weather again if we get some more stuff. And look here, another low pressure system sitting right there in the tri-states near California. So whenever we have a very active weather pattern, which is what we're having right now, look at all these troughs. We're seeing lots of troughs. We're seeing lots of things that are coming from the Arctic area going down into the United States very fast, like we were just showing. And that's going to be why we have high winds over the next week off and on in Elkader, Iowa. Let's get a quick look of what the wind estimates are going to be over the next week. We're going to start with the EPS. It's like the ECMWF forecast computer model, but it's basically taking a bunch of different ECMWF forecasts. It's changing some of the variabilities in them, initial conditions and whatnot, because it's not going to ever be perfect, and then it's combining it all back together, which gives us a better idea, a more realistic idea. So right now, any of these pinks and purples, high winds, if there's any amount of pink or purple, that means there's probably going to be high winds, not that are going to make you stop your drone if you are doing anything with drones. So we see a very broad area of high winds around 10 to 20 miles an hour. This is 10 meters above ground, so around 30 feet. And it's going to be tracking its way through, and it's because of this low pressure system that I was talking about that's centered just above Minnesota right now. And as we can see, we're getting anywhere from 15 to 20 knots in Iowa. This is Sunday, so tomorrow at 18Z, which is about 12 p.m. Central Time. And then it's going to make its way. So somewhere around Sunday afternoon is when we could see the highest wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour, most likely sustained winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. So we see another little low pressure system, and this is the main one to watch out for. Look at how strong these winds are over here in Montana, going down there into Kansas and the Dakotas. So that right there, that's 30 to 45 mile an hour wind gusts for a lot of places, which isn't very good. And we can see we're already being impacted by 25 mile an hour wind gusts. This is Wednesday at 12 p.m. So you can't be flying drones there on Wednesday. And then by 6 p.m., we will see some of those wind gusts subside, but we might still see 15 mile an hour wind gusts in a couple of areas, depending on how accurate this forecast is. And then the next day at around 12 p.m., that's when we see peak wind gust with these low pressure systems right now. This is actually decently strong low pressure system, 998 millibars, which is pretty good. And this is on Tuesday, the 21st. We can see 18 to 20 knots of wind gusts, which is 20 to 30 miles an hour of wind gusts. So this whole area, and this is our main thing that we're talking about. The first part, not super bad. The second part is bad, but not bad enough. But this one is our main area to focus on right now. This might be the longest lasting wind gusts, and this is on Tuesday. So you can see places as high as 40 mile an hour winds, which is not good. Definitely don't want to fly your drones in that. And then it's going to be lasting all the way until the evening hours. As we can see, it's still getting 13, 15 knots, which is around 20 miles an hour of wind gusts before it finally goes away, and it doesn't look like we have very much. Now, the farther out we go from these models, the more inconsistent they get. So we're going to go look at a different model. This is the GEFS, just to get a feel of what the consistency is. And we're still seeing fairly consistent. It's the ECMWF is definitely a little bit more conservative, and this one's definitely a little bit more widespread and a little higher in numbers on Tuesday at around 12 p.m. But we're still seeing up to 30 mile an hour wind gusts in the Iowa location and Minnesota. If we go back one more spiel, we can see it looks differently when it comes to the low pressure system that's happening on Sunday. It looks like from morning all the way until afternoon, there's a possibility of seeing some 10 to 20 mile an hour wind gusts. And then after that, it should go away, which is somewhat consistent with the ECMWF forecast was saying. But what the ECMWF was not showing some of this isolated weird winds that's not directly impacted by the low pressure system like a big area. It's more conservative areas due to sunshine or whatever else that's causing the winds to go up right now. So this is the GFS ensemble, and it's showing a very active pattern. This is already 216 hours out, and it's already showing lots of wind in this area again. So this isn't going to be exactly where the wind is going to be, but the fact that in ensemble member this far out is even showing a consistency of high winds shows that this is going to be, we're going to probably see some more high winds off and on sometime next week in the next over 7 days from now. But before that, it is not showing a whole lot of wind coming after Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, this is a little too far out, so there might be more wind, and if this low pressure system is a little bit slower, we could see high winds on Wednesday as well. Let's briefly talk about the rain that we might be getting very soon here. So these are all our storm systems that were happening earlier today, and then we could see some showers making its way into Sunday morning, but then by 10 Zulu, which is just like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around that is when our rain will go out. And then we're seeing the possibility of some rain again on Monday, but it's very scattered. It'll definitely probably be in the evening hours. And again, that is to the low pressure system that's going to move in just around there in Minnesota. And then as that low pressure system does move really, really close there towards Iowa, as we can see, we are right here. The low pressure system is centered somewhat right around here. And when that happens, we could definitely see some drizzle and shower, which is what this model is showing. If we go back to the ECMWF and see what its reflectivity is saying, it's showing that just like the other one, this one might show some rain again around there. 2 or 3 o'clock is when it finally moves out of the area, and we could see showers again Monday going into possibly Tuesday. And then look at that. It's showing a very small chance that we could have some mixed rain, even snow possible, which is quite crazy. I don't think there's going to be any snow, but the fact that the models are even showing that that's a possibility is kind of wild. And then after that, don't expect to see any more rain. Hopefully some sunny skies after that. We can quickly look at our cloud cover too. This is what our cloud cover could look like. So we can see it's going to be cloudy up until Sunday. Then we could see some nice, nothing super serious. And then by Monday, where the showers we were talking about, we could see cloud cover again. But definitely Sunday, if the wind gusts aren't as bad as we think, depending on where they are, it's going to be very nice. And then we could see some, it might be cloudy off and on until Wednesday, where we could see a break of wind and could see some nice sunny skies. So hopefully this forecast covered everything that you were curious about when it comes to the wind, why the wind's happening, and how far out and how frequent the wind is going to be over the next month. We are seeing a very active weather pattern. This is normal for fall, along with spring. It's kind of like severe weather season, but cooler temperatures, so not as active when it comes to tornadoes. We are still seeing those low pressure systems move in and cause chaos. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll be sure to answer to the best of my ability. Hope you guys have a good night.